mini sessions. Today we are going to work on feet and ankle stretches, a little bit more mobility, and for today's class we're going to use our little massage balls and a nice blanket. Bring something that you can fold multiple times so that you can step on it, and we'll see how this goes. Alright, for the first couple of exercises, we'll be standing up, and make sure to have your balls somewhere nearby because we'll be using them. Alright, to start with, we're gonna start with changing your weight front and back. You wanna make sure that you are feeling where your weight is. Start acknowledging the sensations that you feel on your feet. Wow, it's raining a lot. And just sway forward and backwards as much as you can. Don't be scared of lifting your toes off the ground and lifting your heels off the ground. And for the next thing, we're basically going to sway sideways, swing your ankles sideways. You'll start to notice how it doesn't only affect the ankles, you're also going to feel some movement on the top of your hips. But yes, we're just going to go like that. When you're ready, you can start doing circles. It's just to kind of to wake up all the nerves around your feet. We have so many, and what we're doing today is basically acupressure. Yes. All right, everyone. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna tap into the piano toes. What you're going to do is going to flex your toes off the ground. You can just either lift your toes or lift your whole foot off the ground. Spread them wide and start doing little piano toes. You start by tapping your pinky and then the next one and all the way to your big toe. You can do this with both feet at the time or with only one. You will immediately feel how your muscles, the tiny little muscles in your feet, start to awaken. And if you want a bigger challenge, try the other way around. Start with the big toe and really try to put one toe down at the time. For me, that's very difficult, and I've been trying to do this for a long time. You'll probably start feeling with this reverse version a little bit more inside of your ankle, the muscles. This is part of the strengthening that we're going to do today, getting those little feet muscles to work. All right. Next up, what we're going to do is grab your ball that you're gonna have there, and we're going to start just, going front and back, just a little massage. Same thing, you're waking up your feet. It is very important that we do this every now and then, because we're always on our feet. Maybe not now with the quarantine, we're always sitting down. But yeah, we'll have a couple more hip exercises in other videos. Once you're done with that, try to put your pressure a little bit more intensely on top of that ball, meaning that you're putting more weight on top of that ball. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to stop at the top of your foot and just press in there. Right in where your toes meet your arch, that's where you want to press. For all of these massage exercises, we're all different, so feel free to play around with the ball and place it wherever you feel the more sensation. It could be slightly towards the pinky or slightly towards the bigger toe. When you're done with that, go into your arch, the middle section, and again press you can lift your heel off the ground, and basically all you're having is your arch in there. If you're feeling adventurous, try flexing your toes without letting go of that pressure in there. And once you're done, move on to your heel. For me specifically, I don't like to put it right underneath the heel. I like to put it where the heel starts, because that's where I feel the more sensation. As you can see, I choose how much pressure I put on that ball, and we can move on to the other side. Let's do that again on the other side, rolling front and back, just very gently. Make sure you get a little bit of your arch. Make sure you get a little bit of the outer arch, which is a little bit challenging because, you know, the ball slides. When you're ready, start putting a little bit more pressure on it. And once you feel like you've done enough, park. Ooh, that pinched. Park in the top, at the top of your foot, right where the toes start, and apply as much pressure or as little pressure as you can handle. When you move for that, go into your arch. Again, you can flex your toes and sort of pointing it, and or you can just lift your heel off the ground. Ooh, that is intense. This is a great exercise for when you went out last night. I mean, not that we can right now, but you're wearing heels for a long time. This is great. I highly recommend it. Moving on to your heel and put in as much pressure as you can. And all right. One last little thing that we're going to do is put both feet on the ground and notice how you're feeling. Do they feel a little bit more puffy, a little bit more relaxed? Once you're there, start doing some ankle rolls, you know, just to warm up that ankle on one direction and then on the next direction. You can include your toes as well or not. And when you're ready, let's move on to the other foot. Just rolling in the day. Okay, maybe not. I promise I'll stop singing. And when you're ready, do it on the reverse. Oh, and all right, we are ready to move on to the next exercise. Okay everyone, for the next exercise, we're basically just going to stretch the front of our ankles. You are going to stand in a parallel position and put a foot in the back, like a little tendu derriere on a parallel position. And notice how I'm pressing against the floor. And little by little, you choose how much intensity you want on that front of the ankle. You can bend that knee, you can bend the other knee, and you can even lean backwards a little bit. Make sure, if this is very, very tender, just make sure that you're not overdoing it and come back a little bit. And when you're ready, shake your foot, all good, and we can just do the other side right away. Tendu the rear, pointing your toes, and then just press, put some weight into that, exactly how your ballet teachers tell you not to do, putting weight on that foot, and then you go into it. Little by little, you start going there, and you can plie or bend your knee, your other knee. And even if you want a little bit more pressure, you can place your weight all the way on the heel and then start going a little farther down. Once you've had enough, just shake that foot, and we are going to move onto the ground. All right, everyone, so let us get down on the floor, and just to say that we did a little bit more strengthening other than our feet, we're gonna take a chair pose. Little by little, put your hands in front of you, and little by little, we're going to go farther down. You even can take advantage of this position because you're supposed to have your weight all the way on your heels, so you can actually flex your toes and try doing some piano toes, and don't fall like me, and the reverse version. Little by little, go lower and go lower until you reach the floor. Next thing we're going to do is a little self-massage. You want to put your legs in front of you. If this position is not really accessible, you can always put your feet a little bit farther away. Just be mindful that you will have to be reaching for your feet. If you need anything else, you can put a pillow under your knees or whatever it is that makes you feel more comfortable. All right, so we're gonna grab your thumbs and we're gonna start drawing lines along your arch, and we'll see how that goes. Make sure you choose how much pressure you want in there. For me, usually is the arches, the middle of my arches that are always the tightest. And I don't know, I'm guessing that's because, ballet and stuff. So yeah, go make some lines all the way there. And once you are ready, put some pressure right where your big toe starts. Sorry, sometimes I have to think a lot about to say toe or finger because it's the same word in Spanish. My apologies for that. Stay there and just make sure that you're putting some pressure there. You are almost putting, at least I am putting my whole weight in there. And then move into your arch or into anywhere around your foot that you feel it needs some love, and hold there for a second. You can spread your toes while you're in a certain position where you're applying pressure. And let's move to the back. Right there. Same thing. All right, so this is one of my favorite exercises, and I am calling it holding pause. So you're gonna grab your hand and you're gonna grab your foot and you're gonna interlace the two of them together. Yeah, just like when you're holding hands with your loved one. For this, you may find it more comfortable to shorten your sitting position. If this is not accessible, again, whatever you find the most comfortable, just go for it. Once you're here, I always like to do this. Some people find it strange. I don't know why we have such a weird notion about feet, but I mean, we're all dancers, so get used to it. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to try to do your piano toes, right? And this with having your fingers in there. So it feels a little bit weird, but I promise you it will feel a lot better after this. Yeah, you're trying to do your piano toes. Try not to hurt your fingers in the process. Once you had enough with that, try piano fingers in there. You're going up and down and up. And the next thing we're going to do is just going to do quick little circles only on your toes. By this, you can grab your foot with the other hand and you can actually apply some pressure in there wherever you feel you need some pressure, and reversing those circles. Right, we're just, loosening up some toe flexors over there. And the last thing we're going to do is your whole ankle. Be very gentle with this, because you don't want to irritate whatever it is around your ankle. Once you're done with this, let's do the other side. Hold your paws together, And make sure that you're really in there, and start by doing some piano toes. And I don't even think it's possible to do the reverse version of piano toes in here, but you can try. Once you've done that, try your piano fingers. Yeah. And moving on to the toe circles with a little pressure on your ankle. Reverse it. I usually, I don't know, you can usually do 3 circles on one side, 3 circles on the other one, or 1 and 1. I don't know, it's up to you. Always remember to always be mindful of your body and how you're feeling. And the last thing is ankle circles with your ankle and reversing that. One last little thing that we're going to do, you're going to stretch your feet in front of you, or your legs in front of you. You're gonna grab your fingers and hook them on your big toe right over there, and you're actually gonna let your feet sickle and just let that stretch sink in. You're basically pulling with your arms, and you should be feeling it on the outside of your leg. Yeah, just stay there for a couple of breaths. If you wanna have a double stretch, make sure that you're stretching your back and you're sticking your bum out, and you'll probably find it a little bit more stretch in your hamstrings too. But yeah, let us move on to the calves. Alright, so for the calf, we are going to use our massage balls, and we're going to start by rolling underneath the calf. You want to place your ball right in the insertion of your calf. I don't think you can see it with my leggings right now, but right around there. And what we're going to do first, in order to put more pressure on it, bend your other knee, and then you can hover your hips off the ground, and you'll just roll. You just roll up and down a few times. Make sure to not go too far down as your Achilles tendon, because that could be a very, very sensitive area, and you really don't want to roll in there. All right, so we're rolling in there, up and down, all the way. Once you've had enough of that, you can do a little side to side as many times as you want. Again, trying to be mindful of what your body is feeling. I usually like to do this kind of rolling when I've had a long day of like class or rehearsals or whatever. I'll take a bath, and then I'll roll my calves, because, you know, conscious. Once you are done with that, go into the side of your calf, in either side, because we're going to do this on both sides. So you're on the outer side of your calf, and you're going to roll up and down in there too. Take your time, maybe, I don't know, somewhat like 40 to 60 seconds. If we've got plenty of these guys, so if you don't want to do as much, it's totally okay. Go into your inner side of your calf and also roll there. Again, remember that you choose how much intensity you want, and then you can either stay there or keep on rolling. I usually like to stay there on the interior part of my calf. Again, because this is a very sensitive area, I'm not lifting the hips off the ground just because I can't take it. But if you can, go for it. Be very careful. Once we've done that, we're going to return to right in the middle of your calf. That section where I told you, like right where the calf inserts. And you're going to make sure that you are in the middle, and you're gonna very carefully flex and point your foot. If you want more intensity, again, you can lift your hips off the ground. If you're feeling a little bit too much of a burning sensation, tone it down a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to make bruises. We don't want to irritate your muscles. And yeah, you can actually do the flex and point in any sweet spot that you like on the side of the calf or on the inside of the calf, right? Once you're done with this, repeat that sickle stretch just for the sake of keep on stretching. And if you want more intensity, lean forward a little bit. You will find a nice intensity there. Once you're done with that, give your leg a shake. Notice if you feel any difference from one side to the other, and let's move on to the left. All right, again, place your ball underneath your calf. Bend the other knee, and option to slightly lift your hips off the ground or lift them very well. I don't think this is very high, but just lift them higher if you want more pressure. Rolling up and down on that calf, trying to avoid your Achilles tendon. Don't go too far down. Also, don't go too far up. Remember to stay around the calf area. Ooh, I see some knots in there. Look at that. And I haven't even been dancing that much. All right, once you're done with that, go side to side. It's a funny thing that when I first stopped dancing, eventually my calves were not tight anymore, and that was a very new territory to me. All right, once you've done enough from side to side, go into one of the sides of your calf and either hold there, or you can again roll up and down, right? You can choose different options as to how much intensity you want. You can just kind of move your hip around or actively pushing up and down. And when you're ready, move on to the outer side of your leg. Once you've had enough for that, flex your foot, put the ball on that sweet spot around there. Again, remember, this is all very personal, so the places where you put the ball, you're gonna have to find wherever it feels best for you. I like to do this right where the calf starts or right in the middle of the calf. It's a different sensation, but it gets very good results either way. And you start your flex and point. You can do your flex and point if you have hyperextended legs, with your heel off the ground. Even if you don't, you can put your heel on the ground, and it also gives you a very, very deep massage when you actually place your heel on the ground. If you didn't do this on the other side, because I didn't cue it, try it on the other side too. And once you're ready, sickle foot stretch. That's the last one we're gonna do. And once you're ready, take your ball from there, give it a nice little shake, and we're going to move on to the next thing. All right, for the next thing, make sure that you have your blanket at the top of your mat, and let's move into your tabletop position, and just, for the sake of moving your spine a little bit, let's do some cat-cows. Inhaling and looking up. Ooh, my neck's tense. and exhaling and looking down. Just a couple of those. Once you think, you know, you can always do the little circles with your hips and all that, whatever it is that you need, since we've been sitting for a little bit. And once you're done with that, let's do some calf stretches. Continuing with the calf, you're going to stretch one leg all the way to the back and tuck your toes. And from here, you can choose how much intensity you want by pushing back towards those toes. As you can see right now, this is a very similar exercise to your regular calf stretch that you will do when you're standing up. And yeah, from here, you can even bend your knee and maybe get a little bit lower calf, upper calf, lower calf, upper calf, whatever. Once you are done with this, you can move on to the next foot, stretching nice and gently. You even can walk your hands a little bit forward so that you can put as much pressure as you want. I find that I am able to apply more weight in a position like this than I will be in a standing up position. So this is a different but similar calf stretch that we're used to, you know, in general. Now for the next exercise, you're going to tuck both of your toes and you're going to sit on your heels. So this is a toe flexor exercise. This is a very intense exercise, at least for me. At first, this is all I could do. But if you are able, try to walk your hands up of your thighs. If you need your feet to be a little bit closer together, try to have them on a straight line. And once you're up, sitting straight up, now you can choose to put more intensity by leaning on in there. Now there are a couple of settings of your ankles that you could do. You can stay there kind of like a 90-degree angle, or you can walk your knees forward and you'll get a deeper toe flexor stretch. Make sure you're still breathing. Whew. This is still a very, very intense exercise for me. So there is nothing wrong or on pulling a little bit back or going even on the floor if this is what you need. Again, be in tune with what your body feels like it needs. And once you're done, get out of there and give it a little, you see how my toes are dead right now? Give it a little shake on the floor. Just, you know, to wake them back up. Sit on them for a little bit. Bring your blanket closer together and we're gonna move on. Alright, so for the next one, you have your blanket in front of you and you are actually going to put both of your knees on top of your blanket, and we're going to stretch the front of our ankles again by leaning backwards. If this is enough intensity for you, then stay here. If you think you can handle a little bit more, you can place both of your hands behind you. And if you think you can handle even more, you can even lift your knees off the floor and you should feel a nice stretch on the front of your ankle. If your knees are bothering you too much, separate your knees a little bit and try the same thing, right? Also, if you don't feel like lifting your knees by yourself, you can also fold that blanket a little bit thicker and try that same thing. Don't fall like me. And yeah, just stay there for a couple of seconds, a couple of breaths. Do make sure that you're always breathing, and If this is a little bit too intense for you, then by all means, get out of there. Very carefully coming back and stretching your foot in front of you. You can put your blanket just on the side, stretch your foot in front of you, give it a couple of shakes, up and down, just your feet, or you can even go on your back and give it some nice shakey shake. I know it looks ugly and noodly, but that's okay. I love noodles, so that is alright. Let's move on. Okay, once you've had enough of shaking those noodles, come back into your tabletop position, take a deep breath in, and on your breath out, pushing down to a little downward dog. You can paddle your feet up and down. You can stretch a little bit more of your calf, one side and then the other. And I mean, because we're dancers, you can lift one leg and stretch in the back, you know, just for the sake of popping those hips like we all want to. And when you're ready, let us come all the way up, but not before placing your blanket in front of you and slowly rolling up. All right, the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to give those calves a last little stretch. You're gonna step half of your foot on your blanket and you're gonna really step on that, and then you can either do a nice little plie and a nice little plie on the other one. You can even step forward and find a nice plie in there, bending your knees, stretching your calf. And once you're done, go on the other side, bending that knee, stepping right into it or over it. And that is it, my friends. We're done. Okay, everyone, that is it for today. I hope you guys liked today's stretch. I hope you feel the benefits of giving some love to your feet. Remember, we are standing for most of our time here on earth, so give it some love every now and then, and join us for the next episode of the mini sessions, which will be working on thoracic spine and some twists and all that. All right, see you guys then.